figure out what your eat the frog task is. What is the single greatest, hardest, highest leverage task for your work or your studies? For a YouTuber, for example, it's not, changing the channel banner. It's not like commenting on videos. It's simply just like recording the video and maybe scripting the video. That's like the hardest, highest leverage thing out there for a YouTuber. So this is what I do in that first pocket of the day. If you're a nighttime person, then you do this right at the end. Or for example, let's say you are an author. You could be messaging people, you could be writing emails, you could, be sending shout outs to people or something. But the hardest task, the eat the frog of an author, what do you think it is? Literally just writing words down on a page. That's the hardest task. So if you're an author, you'd wake up and you'd do that as fast as possible, or you'd stay up late and you do that. You get the drift. The point is that there's a certain task for your work and for your studies that is super high leverage, but it's really hard. And that's the thing that you should be doing in these like pockets of time. If you're a student, for example, you might think that, oh yeah, mine is studying, for example. Needs to be way more specific. It can't just be studying, because then it's like, you'll just cope, right? Because you won't have a plan. It needs to be a specific task, as specific as, for example, practicing the exam questions. So you've got an upcoming exam, you've got like a list of all the questions that they've had over the last 5 years. At 5 a.m. you wake up and you practice the exam questions for 90 minutes. That is a good deep work task right there. Alex Hormozi is a entrepreneur, like a YouTuber who's got a bunch of subscribers. And he spoke about how he ended up getting really, really good grades in college. He literally just practiced the exam questions over and over and over again, so that when it came to the exam, he had already practiced the questions that had come up anyway. So he just breezed through them. That's a very high leverage task. A lot of students cope and they say like, their task is just going to be studying. They end up sitting there, they're distracted, they don't know what they're doing. They'll read a bit of the book, but it's boring. It's not even high leverage. It's very important you have a specific task that you'll focus on. I will tell you that I've been on self-improvement full time for the past 3 years. I haven't had a job other than YouTube. And so I've literally had the beautiful opportunity to like be full time on my self-improvements. And I will tell you that this is a 10 out of 10 productivity tactic. Wake up early, stay up late, whichever one, and work on that hardest task. Eat the frog. That's what I have in this habit tracker behind me. I have 5 a.m., sunlight, eat the frog. That's the 3 things I do first. And then I've got like the rest of my morning routine as well. This will be hard. When you sit down to try and do one of these tasks, it's always like quite brutally hard. It's like you're trudging through deep snow. It's hard. There's always a bit of a struggle. You don't really want to do it. But as you get about 20 minutes or 30 minutes into one of these hard like frog tasks, that's when you start to feel a lot better. Like I am right now. When I was having a shower before this, I was literally thinking like, coping, do I want to record this? I can't be bothered. What if I do it after the gym? What if I do it, all these thoughts. The first like 10 minutes or so of recording this video, I was feeling a little bit like, I don't know, groggy, not really feeling it. Now it's fine. You've just got to fight the struggle that will inevitably arise with a task like this hard. And this is really, I'm going to be honest, this is where the success is built. Because you see how hard, you can imagine how hard this is. I'm telling you to either wake up early or to stay up late, which means that you've got to kind of dedicate your life around this. And then I'm telling you to work on the super hardest task possible, the highest leverage task. Everyone else is doing the exact opposite. Everyone else is spending their time doing like the pointless tasks, which aren't so important, and the hard, really important task, they're pushing that off till like, till the later of the day, till they're tired and it's less of a priority and they're doing other things first. They're going to the gym first. This is how you get ahead of everyone else. You prioritize that big task and you try and do it first thing in the day when no one can message you. And do all this with the vibe of enthusiasm and enjoyment, because you're building your dream life. And you're not just building your dream life. This is the dream life. When you imagined your dream life and you thought of, the life that you wanted to live, oftentimes we've been influenced and brainwashed by media, by school, by, like people that we know and influencers, and even like the red pill, like based guys have influenced us to think that we need this Bugatti or this apartment or, like be a high value man and stuff. When you take all that bullshit aside, when you really think about your dream life, in some way, you probably did think about the fact that you'd be working hard on some kind of project that meant a lot to you. Because if you think that, the dream life is you just kind of retiring and having enough money, I have to say you're quite immature and foolish. Not in a insulting way. It's just because you haven't experienced life. Anyone who's experienced life, especially as a man, knows if once you make a fuck ton of money and you can pretty much retire, you don't, because it's boring as fuck. You need some kind of purpose, fulfillment, right? So it's like this already was going to be the dream life for us, and we can have it today. We can have something that we can work hard on that contributes to humanity, that also gets us to the point that we can start to provide for our families.